What up? Welcome. So I've named my last video ish. That's I'm probably not on the last page, I guess. Flux capacitor 2 videos ago. I don't know why, because there was like I didn't want to. I was talking about the volcano at Tonga that went off recently in a video I was watching that I started reacting to, in essence, because it made. I kind of felt maybe it focused the tsunami towards certain like energy sinks, maybe places where the energy can flow through and pass into the larger bodies. And I named it flux capacitor for some reason. Essentially, I didn't really want to name it something about like a tsunami or. So I was like, what even exactly is the concept of a flux capacitor anyway? I just thought it was kind of a fun name. So initially I went to change it, but I was like, I'll just leave it, like, whatever. So I Googled it, and I kind of vaguely thought it was from Back to the Future, but I wasn't even, like, completely certain. But then I noticed this. Crazy. And then I even saw somewhere in the search, it was like, we've scientists invented a real life flux capacitor. We've designed a flux capacitor. It's like, but back to the three. What really even like piqued my interest is that there's three things going inward to a central point. Oops. So Australia, as we've been discussing, I guess. I want to be inclusive. I don't want to be rude and act like it's I when it really is we, even though it's deeply we. I'm also noticing maybe here's an eyeball of a maybe snake with a maybe tongue. I don't know. I keep noticing those kinds of features. So, I've been talking about the ammonite here. Let's see, do I have, that's right, I don't have those pictures anymore. They're probably on my Twitter still. Let's just get my Twitter feed. There's one of the snakeheads, so there's a snakehead. And I guess its tongue, it kind of has a tongue up to the Himalayas, maybe. Maybe that's part, like its tongue there. That would be so cool. Let's check it out real quick. It does kind of go up there, like there, and then maybe it does kind of do the rattlesnake type thing, and like it looks like a tongue. something fundamental about this structure. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So here though, there's three currents. There's one current coming in from here, this current this way, essentially from here through here, cutting across here. So there was a nucleus. We can see its outer ring here, and then it's the outer ring inner boundary here as well. So it was a wide outer ring, and then a nucleus that was about this diameter. that now has it probably didn't have an emptiness at the center here, but the sad face, the currents that flow through it moved the nucleus in a way where it was over here. So essentially, there's all sorts of things going on here. But the I've been talking about how there's a current coming in here, and there's a current coming in here, which we can see over here. The current coming in and hitting Australia here, going around it, but then cutting into it. So it starts to get into it and carves into the nucleus where there's a probably like I really think this region was highly uniform in density, and that this was maybe more to do with the positions of the currents than anything, and that underneath the continents was highly uniform and stable. Highly stable, probably. Like eternally stable, seemingly. If a vortex weapon hadn't been used, literally, probably as a very uniformly well-developed underlayer that allowed for a stable planet. Up and, like, basically until we really fell again in the flood. And all the other events written of that are all tied together in the one expansion of the Earth that was caused by a vortex weapon that was used here, probably right, maybe even right there where this like double node is, chakra point, although it's here-ish. That's interesting though that there is that double node chakra point. It is here, up here. It's more like there. Maybe it went here and created that and started to move this way, because ultimately it comes in here. And I think it just came in this way, although it may be that the energy flows come in that way. It came to here in essence, which we can see in here. So like Dwarka was here, the vortex went this way, and it started to cause ether to flow through these channels. Until it punctured the mantle's boundary, and then it erupted from the mantle and went in all directions. And then when it finally filled the layer inclusive of the oceanic crust, it plugged itself, which then capstoned off by this vortex that's moving this way. So we can kind of see spots. I believe we can see locations where the eye of the storm rested on nodes. So like these types of things, like if there's a storm here, in order to get over here, like it needs enough energy to get over this bump. So it kind of lingers over the bump while the storm's momentum continues to just move it a little bit more until it gets over, and then it lodges over into this bump kind of thing. So it looks like here it might have been at some point, the eye, and we might even see indications of like an increasing diameter. Like it might be that the eye was not yet developed here, because Dwarka really seems to have not experienced this directly, even though the weapon was there. Like it was probably a very subtle storm still. Like it destroyed the city and it caused water to flood it. It caused it to sink under the ocean. Maybe it just removed some of the underlayer and just caused enough of a drop in the ocean level. I'm not sure. Some way it basically was made underwater here. I mean, this used to be above water. There are ruins here found by modern Dwarka here. But so I think it went this way and just gathered, like, radius. Let's see if we can see any. This area is probably so swept over with moving swamplands. That it looks like the first really clear, like, plausible eye imprint that what we'll find along the way is maybe this one. And then maybe like these over here, like maybe it came up here to the edge, this boundary, energetically, like it wasn't really some reason, I don't know. Not sure, but it certainly was rotating. Yeah, it's a clockwise rotation, so that it comes out of the Earth the other way, and a counterclockwise rotation. So it's a clockwise rotation moving this way, which would produce above the nucleus, above of it. I say, above the nucleus, it would produce a wind moving in this direction. So this region is just probably a polygon. I was thinking, like, there's different polygons. So this polygon here, the like outer boundary of this polygon just contained more like substantial material maybe, and this one happened to be more susceptible to the winds than the adjacent regions and down here, so that it didn't really have the same effect elsewhere. I'm not sure why exactly. Maybe it's that this is where the sands could reach from over here, and then water draining down this way caused this greenery, even though this was used to be like connected to here as a boundary maybe. Like all this sand maybe came down here, but then the Himalayas just drained year after year material down here to just start to cause it to green up here, which is maybe a good sign for the region overall, and it does have that effect, and it really hasn't been that long. So it looks like one stopped there, and then maybe it moved up here and kind of just like jerked around a bit. Derp derp. Looks like there's a spot, like a increasing spiral. It doesn't really seem to continue though. Maybe it got up there even and was just right up there. It does have like the way that is kind of suggestive. Like if it was rotating counterclockwise, it would probably be on the other side more like that, I would say. Although it is over here. Although that's kind of the coastline. I thought I saw more maybe there. I also thought it came right through here, but I'm not sure. It's possible it moved all around here, like it bounced back and forth. Is there wave-like features like a lot of other places? This is very wavy right there. That's interesting. Forgot what I even started recording for. Oh, lordy, lordy. Okay. Let's just keep following this, because Gurnar and Dwarka they make me feel happy inside just to think about them and look at this information around it. Like It's nice. It's pleasant. Although maybe I'm being biased. It's just such a... It's unique. But so is everything. And everyone. So it's, a little unfair to be focused on certain things, I guess. Okay. And yet here we are. Here I am. There you will be one day, maybe. I guess certainly not exactly now. No absolute indication, I guess, of a place it may have rested on. This would be interesting if it just kind of hung out here for a while. It's got like a like a trilobite kind of look. I don't know, just not saying that one's the same process, but it could be. Little smiley face. I'm getting a little out of there. What was I talking about? Well, I was talking about the map. So... Flux capacitor. Whew, I made it back. It's like, where was I? I feel like, oh my God. Lord have mercy. Things going on in this world right now. It's me too, and me included, I guess. Sorry, guys. Maybe especially me. But I was getting at that the energy was coming out of here, and then I was kind of like, let's check it out. So I came over here, it said energy in there, and then the storm came this way. It kind of rested on some places, okay. Then it moved this way, probably this way, I would imagine. Like, I do feel like it kind of came here and chilled here for some reason, and then moved this way some reason. I don't know. It just kind of looks like it. I mean, I'm just guessing, obviously, but it could have came this way. It just seems like it had to come over here, where it doesn't necessarily seem like it absolutely had to come here. Although this does suggest maybe it came through here and came out. Or it's just creating currents, I guess. And just enough, like one of those, let's see, if it's spinning here, creating a current in here, then it's gonna basically want an outflow down this way, I guess. If it's spinning this way, so it's creating a current this way also, and a current this way. So all of this would want to go this way. This would want to go this way more, but I guess it hit resistance of this more solid polygon. And so it carved into it a like bay type region and just went around and joined this channel that was just funneling out this way as the storm was spinning, just causing this like outflow this way through polygon boundaries. And it hung out there a while, and I guess it also carved some energy up between these polygons as well. Up through this way, maybe even significantly, like branching through all this, but just not enough to do the same thing. It's just more like, more of a narrow channel, but still a channel, so able to go pretty far, it looks like. Pretty far. It even looks like it reaches energetically this Maybe another type of capacitor. I don't know. It doesn't seem to have a second capacitor unless it's like literally this whole thing or something. Like here and here kind of look like a capacitor. I don't know. I don't know, but let's move on from that. Then it comes down here. So then, interesting, if we say this current comes out here and this current carving around hits this polygon and just keeps hitting the polygon, moving up the polygon until it reaches this one, and then it just channels along it. And then the storm keeps moving down, comes through here. I should drink water. I'm just being ridiculous, I know. Comes through here. It sits probably here. It looks like it maybe even causes a vortex. We see a circle there and an outer ring here. Maybe even with like an extending arm or an extending arm. Comes out this way. Okay, this is how it creates the Gulf of Cooch. Is again the same thing as here. Is the storm's coming this way, and it's just blowing, and it's rotating clockwise. And while it's moving up on it, the winds are blowing this way. And so it's basically carving out the polygons. Shaping this to be this feature that it is to that point. And then again it reaches another boundary where the energy flows that are like as it passes it probably. As it's moving down, they really are coming this way. But then and it even looks like there's a trail from this nucleus just kind of feeding into this. So it comes down this way with the wind blowing this way across, but really this way. Until it reaches a point where the top of the eye passes the inlet here. Like the inlet is still experiencing westward winds. And then it passes there, and then it starts to propagate. And it does through there, I guess. It kind of carves a channel. That even looks like a... Holy crap, like a shallogram double channel, like the way it does it under here. These two channels that branch apart. Let's look at that. Nah, they're not quite branching apart. Okay, no. No, false alarm. This carves up here, and definitely it does the same thing where it branches. It even reaches like the same this. They both go to this, whatever this is. Looks like it looks heavily mined. I don't know if I'm mistaken. Or something's going on. What is going on? It's got... maybe it's just rich land and it's just... crazy looking, but it's rich, so they can, where able, it's useful farmland, because it was just double energy flows. This current was probably still flowing, like as it's coming this way, it's putting a degree of a current up here, so it's still causing a current through this, causing a pressure here, so this is probably still like present here when this current's coming up this way. I wonder if, let's look at this. This is 25.1, 73.15. Let's say. Or 2, since I rounded up the other way. Is that here? 28.07. Oh no, I'm not even close. I was just wishful thinking. Okay, okay. It could be one of these nodes though, like here. 26.07, 77.18. I mean, the thing is, it's not gonna be 73.25. 73.25. Let's go off that. 73. 73.25 is there. And if we assume Mount Gernard is about the same distance from that pile as this thing is from its source, it could be about here. It may be draining into this right here. I wonder if these are actually representative of these polygons. Like this is maybe the polygon that got dust blown. This is the polygon here. Or something. I don't know. I don't know. Plausible though. But it looks like it did. It needed to get past this to like actually drain into this region, the energy, I guess. I don't know. I just noticed these surrounding divots. Interesting. It was like trying to get into it too. Some kind of energy. Maybe at the end, when it's plugging up, it was like trying to backflow and it just couldn't. It was literally trying to drill in the side to get the energy back into the planet. And the better option was to have a puncture hole right here to like have an outflow to essentially allow for an equilibrium. So this branch is in here. Where is this coming from? Yeah, these are all just branching up here. Although this one, it may be going around this polygon here. Like that's probably why it's like this, because it has a lot of, like a solid mass down there to really keep it as a solid polygon. Here's a smaller one. Smaller polygon. There's just polygons everywhere now that I saw them on islands. So it goes around it, and then it's really just going to this energy thing here. Whatever this is about, it really does have like a capacitor type thing going on. So this storm moves down this way. I guess maybe it even like locks in here. Like there seems to be maybe like a circle there. I assume the eye is stably moving and circular, although it could just be, well, but it looks like it's moving pretty like just like this. Just carve through this here. Just carve through the polygon and rip little chunks of the polygon off of it. Lodge them in the debris that was just being emitted. Like they're just bursting. These bubbles are bursting and sand's just coming down. Out of this like stable material practically. Somehow, something of that, like the polygon edge maybe. I don't know. Is maybe something of that nature. So this goes up this way. And this way. Maybe goes to this thing too. That's cool. This one looks to have 4 inlets. Or 4 somethings. Oh, that's like at the base. This is also very much straight here and then wobbly here. Like it was a valve. So over here, the current that's coming down here, there's a current coming out of here going westward up here that flows into this polygon's shape underneath here and just puts a pressure in this region. And then as this flows down, they have a balance here. But this current is just like putting more and more material in here and causing this thing to basically move upward until it reaches a point where this over here breaks through the current that's flowing here, and then it essentially moves back. And so this wall is broken, but this current keeps flowing, and so as this comes in, it pushes more material over here until this wall is stable again, and then this starts moving, and it just does that over and over again in the Himalayas to create this like ripple out of this point. There's a ripple outward that just causes wavelength after wavelength of different wavelengths cutting across the Himalayas, even cutting all the way across here to here. Just different wavelengths on different scales. We can see it here. So with that in mind, this looks kind of like some stable point of some boundary like that then had an unstable point that was vibrating, probably because it was getting excited. You know, now that I think about it, like a tuning fork is dong, you know, it takes some energy. You know, like maybe a vortex storm that was traveling this way, sending currents down here over then coming through this region and just causing this to vibrate back and forth for some reason as a valve, basically exhausting the energy into other parts. However, and in the meantime, at its very tip, creating this like void, I guess. So maybe we can find its tip. I wonder if it's also spraying this, like it's creating this, maybe this region. How far? Let's see where I'm looking at. That's not it. No. This is above Gujarat. Okay. We gotta go up here. Probably even up here. There's really no indication of a valve type thing like this happening that's clear to see. I mean, it could be up here, but it probably is more like here, that region. But it may just be that like this type of stuff is more happening on like this, more on the surface layer of the crust, so it's really just not visible here very well. Like maybe it's visible, just not very well. Maybe certain things like that mound sitting there for some reason are relevant to the process and I don't understand. I don't know. Like it could be that mound is like the thing holding that portion stretching, and then this portion here is vibrating, and maybe this is, I don't know. But so then it's here putting energy down here, so for sure there's a wind coming down here, ripping through this region between these polygons into this polygon for sure, because this one seems to just kind of, That's probably a boundary of a polygon in this. So it got into this one a bit, which is probably why there's a lot more just like this, you know, than other places. Like, say, I don't know. Whoa. I bet this storm just kept going. We'll see as I keep going. So it's here. Let's say it's here. No, maybe not. Actually, it discharged down here. Okay, so it's here. It's putting wind this way. It doesn't really have to go this way then. If it's putting wind that way, and it's also because it's spiraling this way. It's spiraling this way, so the tail should be this way. I don't know. This way. And this way. I'm just trying to think if maybe the shape of like arms had anything to do with this. It also looks like this might have been kind of made into like chakras right here, like there. Like that's maybe like a chakra. Of like a shalogram looking feature right here that just blew out completely. Like right here looks like a shalogram. Right there. Da, 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 da. I don't know, let's just say that one, sure. Here. And here. But without the center too, even. I mean, this one's not the best definition, I guess. I could have got a higher definition one for really showing that. But that does look kind of like a shalogram. Just a cross-section of one. So maybe there was a particle here that's not here anymore, really. Maybe that's why this is all like this. Whoa. What? That's probably the water, though. That's just crazy looking. What the? I mean, that looks like energy flows from, like, rather than a pushing water. It looks more like a water is just filling the pre-existing channels, if anything, that were carved by the fact that there was like maybe a lightning strike across the chakras kind of thing on some energetic level. And this energy then from that chakra connects over here to this. Interesting. Maybe that's like the outer boundary of the shalogram that was this unit, or here even. Let's just assume that's maybe a thing, but not necessarily a thing. And that's crazy, the spacing of those. What is going on? What? Okay, I don't... Maybe that's just satellite or clouds or something. It doesn't seem like clouds. Why is it like that? It's like a specific buildings are just dark. What the... Just mining that something. It goes. Well, this is in a 4 quadrants. Interesting. I guess it's just some kind of mining. Huh. All around the shallogram mining. What do you mean there's valuables around the shallograms rims? Maybe implausible. I don't know if that's what's happening. I'm just going to pretend. If I'm utterly wrong, that wasn't mining. I apologize for my ignorance and all my ignorance. Okay, with that. So this energy, okay. Okay, there's a system here. There's that vortex storm coming this way. Then it causes a current coming this way, which then causes a vortex here in like this dimension, like up down vortex, like right in, but like in a stable way where it's like a chakras igniting to a point where like this system kind of like boom explodes like a nova of a shallogram system though to become, and it just carves out like the current comes out to the edge here, carves out, and then just starts pushing chunks, the smaller polygon blocks off, and then it just is all gone down here with enough current, like it just keeps taking chunks off until the side is blown and revealed, the innards of the shallogram, like just a current going over here, and it's just creating a vortex above and below and around this to then create just shallogram features like chakras. Let's see. Maybe I'll keep this open over there in case I have any. I was just thinking. I wonder if we can see any like ridges, like the teeth. Maybe these. Maybe these are the teeth. Would that be reasonable? Let me find a shallogram that has a chakra with teeth up like that. Like that. So here's the chakra down here. So here. And then teeth on both sides. Teeth. Yeah, got the features. And then this one's more smooth. So it has more of a... Let's find a good one with like one of these figure 8 things that have part of it missing on the side. I know. I'm just really, I guess I can bring it over here instead of hiding it. Like maybe that might be good. Like how it's just well maybe there. Hey, maybe I don't know. I was looking for something where it's just out this side, kind of thing. You get what I'm saying. But it would be cool to see a representation of its... But the current just kept flowing and flowing until this channel was open. So this was probably happening before this channel was open. Like there was probably a substantial blockage somewhere around here. Maybe because there's a polygon wall that was cut across somehow. Or this polygon. Maybe it was like here. So it's like, I don't know, it's hard to say. It looks like these are different materials to a degree. But the current then came here, and then it started to branch specifically this way, it looks like, not this way. Which current usually moves towards, you know, like a sink. So even though this way would be the reasonable way to go if it was moving towards this sink, the current instead moved this way down here. Where it just flowed into Gujarat, India, especially here. We can even see a hexagon angle here, 120-degree angle, probably thereabouts. As the energy that was coming from here to here to a point here was then being fed by this storm through this point to back that way. So basically this storm discharged this way through Mount Gurnar, which was uprising, and that caused like a outflow of positive mass and an inflow of subtle energy of this energy into the planet, outflow of mass, creating Mount Gurnar and having it channel, physically connecting energetically to this system that's underneath there, this, which goes back to the inner earth. And it's connected to probably the core energetically, I'd imagine. If not, at least like the outer core mantle boundary. At the minimum. It may be just connected across there. But I might be connected all the way to the core. Just straight to the core. Maybe the core did like a gamma ray burst or some kind of just like jet stream because of the pressure of the ether energy, the energy coming into the space of the outer core, pressing in on the inner core, maybe just squeezed it, like explode in one direction and in the opposite direction, causing this channeling. This channeling and then at the end exploding into the Pacific energetically. Although I don't know if it needs to do that. It may just have channeled this. And that's it. And then like a decay process. Channeled a mantle out to the core, out to the under the crust. Okay. So the storm, though, it definitely came this way. Definitely produced a shallogram feature here. Chakras. Definitely carved energy that generally wanted to flow into the conduit. It was flowing to conduits to take the energy into the earth where it could fill the space where the mantle was outflowing and producing basically. It's like trying to drink water but not letting any air in. Like it won't. Funny as I don't drink any water. It won't like come out of the bottle. It needs the air in it. So it's like the two are like, because the puncture is there, the two are just exchanging kind of in some way. And so it causes a current this way and the energy to propagate this way. to then go in through the conduit that's forming from Grannar to the inner earth, and just striking it into existence with these ether strikes or whatever, energetic strikes of energy into the earth that propagate through channels that it carves, like these carved channels into the earth. They even look like they just spread out spontaneously. Is that man-made though? That must be dams or something that we've been making. But they spread out spontaneously. That's interesting. Making dams in a place where there's like a opening. Suddenly the pressure on that opening starts to open the opening, and then it freaking drains into the opening. Just a heads up, guys, a little FYI, that might be a little concerning. Just saying. I don't know if that is what's happening. Unless that's just naturally happened. It looks like it just naturally happened. Straight the fuck up. So it's sending energy, pushing, and then it reaches a total resistance, I guess, where it branches out. And those branch out points, not total, I said total before, I mean a balanced resistance. Not a total resistance would cause a complete reversal of the flow. A balanced resistance causes actually like a hold still in that direction, but then it causes a separation in the two other directions. So it spreads out like this, and then it reaches a point where then it has enough like space outward pushing this way to start moving this way. And then it kind of does little things like that, I guess. And branches out some more. And I guess it just keeps going, but it probably also deeply carves like in. Even if small channels, which get filled by dirt and stuff over time so that it doesn't really drain, but if pressure is put there by putting dams, that is just a general problem of dams, I guess, and that like these bodies of water exist because they're where pores are in some way. So if we like dam up a body and make it like larger, like the Hoover Dam, even though that one's just in a river, so maybe not that location, there weren't necessarily like drainage pores where bodies of water just sat already because there was the ether flows that just like created that crevice for the body of water to form in. Like that ether didn't just flow there. It flowed in to the point where it like, not always, but, and probably not significantly, like something like this would probably have a small channel just like this versus this kind of thing, but still it would exist. And if we like puncture it like this, maybe it would even create some sort of vortex like this that could explode outward and create like a huge opening down. And then it just drains. That's what I mean. Okay, so let's see. The storm low kept going until it passed here, and then the channels it was carving were meeting resistance here, I guess. It really met like it came up this way, it went through here. It met definitely. What is this? That's so perfectly straight. Oh my god. Like those sections are just so straight. Is that man-made? Like that's how straight it is. I'm like, did you guys do that? Canal, okay, so maybe. This has me real curious. There's a four-pointed thing going on here. So this even like this is interesting. So this vibrating thing here is just too energetic that it actually is discharging, maybe? No, discharge is still going this way. Starts from one stream basically and spreads out to many. Is a good path of which way the discharge of energy would have had to go to create these currents, to create these channels. Even the water then drains the other way. Like if there's energy going this way, it would start with a single channel and then it would branch out where it can, and then just keep doing that. So I guess it branched out here. This is just strange. I guess it doesn't. It does kind of cut over here. It's real subtle. I might have like gone up to a chakra point right there. That looks kind of like... Oh, lordy lord. So it's putting energy in. Okay, I guess it's just energetically putting energy into this, but it is vibrating in some way. Where it's really like over here, and then 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 over here. Or maybe it was actually, it was over here, and then it ended up being over here, is what it is. Like initially, the storm was coming from this way, so it really fed to this region. But not so much over here. But then the storm kept moving down here. And it started feeding here, in this region, and also started here. And then it kept going, and then it reached this corner where it had, like, it couldn't do anything except for start to go on the land that it wasn't able to fully, like, turn into this kind of stuff. So instead it just went on land. I guess it followed maybe this path right to here, because this for sure it followed, so it probably just followed this path. And as it did, we can see just circle after circle, like here. It's subtle on this one. I think it's there. Maybe I might be somewhat making that up. But for sure down here we can see that one. And that one. It may not even be a circle, more like a... It's definitely got like regular spacing of these things where they're part of a structure of some sort that I can't quite make out. But it's certainly there. Like that seems to show it pretty well, that one right there. With this there. And then it even has maybe some sort of connection there. I don't know. But it's coming down here. Doing something along the edge here. Something. I guess it's just carving little channels inward to start moving towards probably like this point, maybe this point exactly. is where most of these channels are mostly pointing towards. These start pointing towards here, so we can kind of see as it moves this way. It really is. It may just be literally drawing it up. It's moving along, drawing Mount Grenard up. Like once it's here, we can almost see like the hexagon crystal. Let me show you. Let me show you guys this. If I can find it. Mount Grenard. So first of all, Mount Grenard has a hexagonal olivine gabbro inner section here. And then the outer section is basalt hexagonal as well, with all sorts of nuance. But then beyond this, let me see if I have it here. I hope I have it. Also like this, I mean, for instance. Like dome with little steps down. Maybe this. Ooh. Oh, shoot. Snap. How convenient that I just had this ready to go. That right there. And this maybe? Oh, maybe all these. These probably. Rotate. So here's where Gujarat, India is. Geological map showing isopac contours for the Deccan Traps. What is that again? Thickness of the stratum. Thickness. Okay, so I don't know. Let's see. I was hoping to find the one. It shows basically underneath Grenard. Maybe just here. To have like a significant radius. They described it as essentially having, I believe, let's see how far this is. I measured it from here, measure distance to here. Even more than that. I think it was 40. I think it was 40. I was going to say I think it measures 40, but I think it was 40. Let's measure to even this thing right there. Because this threads through to the very tip here, energetically connecting. And then this threads through here, so it's got a couple bonds coming in, kind of feeding points of energy. It even looks like it branches out here pretty complexly. I never really noticed that all around it. In this place right here, it just branches out around the, like, these, to the very tip of these hexagonal, like the big hexagon of Mount Grenard branches out to the very tip of that. Like the energy is just feeding in to its like galactic disk. Just tapping in all around it. All these are just tap-in points where it's feeding in one energy, essentially creating a void by ether flowing in. And then the positive energy of this emission, I guess, comes up in turn. Maybe. Just, oh my. So this probably is very closely related, this shape, to the like underlying hexagonal crystalline base under the crystal Mount Gurnar. That was being pulled up and left an imprint here where maybe it like energetically crossed some boundary for some reason. We just see some like that it happened, that there is that there for, which is cool. Okay. And then the storm low back here, so it's just getting channels into to go to this conduit where it's then it's flowing down the conduit to here and just pulling upwelling this crystalline structure over here. And as it moves here, just putting all these little porosities around it. This is interesting. Also causing novas probably, or there's certainly novas around, like in the porosity. So maybe some sort of nova type things. Looks like it sat here for a bit, enough to just say, here, look at the eye from see me. Unless that's just one of these type things that happens to be there. But it looks like it sat there because it's just carving. Let's see if there's any reason it might do that. Maybe because of this. The storm's going this way and this way, so maybe because it's feeding in this way, it sort of like taps in here to this region. I don't know what's going on here. Looks like there might be one of those nova things there. Probably. Oh. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe in this direction. Let's think about it. There's currents coming in this way, colliding with currents coming in this way, maybe creating like a vortex region here. Maybe kind of like over here. Here. This little thread of vortexes going up here. Maybe. And also here. Over here there's no, also. I was just gonna show it on Google Maps as also. Same place, just the Google Maps thing. The vortex was coming in here. So it's having this kind of effect there. When, not this vortex, a vortex of energy flows where they're like combining from pressures from two sides, pushing them into a narrower channel together where there's just novas. Just novas. This looks actually almost galactic spiral-like. There's probably a bunch of that kind of thing going on, but like little bar galaxies. Maybe an eye-looking thing there. That looks like one. This curvature. It looks like an eye. Which actually, eyeballs are indicative of, based on based on Australia, they're indicative of a ammonite type structure going on. Let's see if we can look around a little more. If there's an eyeball here, where might the ammonite be? I don't know. It's probably something real obvious, and I'm silly Billy. Okay, so the storm probably sits here a little bit, just discharging into here, I guess, where this ammonite type features, or whatever this spiral region is happening. Maybe where this current coming around here is still feeding through here. So it's kind of just like many paths in, wrapping around, like this is the thumb and the fingers or something, or vice versa. Fingers, thumb, fingers, thumb. Yeah, fingers, thumb, something like that. Wrapping around. It really does kind of look like a thumb and fingers wrapping around some structure. Does it have like a tongue? Like a... Maybe if this is sort of like the snake here somehow. If that's the snake, that would suggest this is like... Let's go to the pillars. Let's pull up the pillars of creation. Speaking of hands. Maybe this is kind of like this region. This region, maybe, I don't know, at that point. I mean, this certainly is not how this happened. I'm not saying that this is how that happened. But just the current flows in this region. I mean, essentially, it probably is effectively how it happens. It may be that it literally is how it always happens. Every electron, every single electron to ever create light in our eyes is caused by this story replaying over and over that we live, where this storm causes the excitement of the electron. Oh Lord, the things I think, pardon me. Okay, so this comes over here and probably sits here a bit, which is why this current's here. It's just kind of going this way, digging in here a bit more than it usually does, like here, like usually. Well, in this polygon, it's not able to dig into this polygon as well. It's probably not even two polygons. Like this might be actually over top of a single polygon, and maybe that's a significant part of why it's not like carving into it that easily, although it does create like an outflow channel so between this. So I guess this is two polygons, or at least able to be divided to a point where it behaves like that. Oh, sad face. And then the current goes down this way. Down here, I guess it also discharges into the planet in general and just other nodes. Similar in ways like Gunnar, but just not as substantial of discharge points. So it comes over this region, just discharging directly to the side. It probably is. Maybe also this is related actually to this, and maybe this also, when I look at it, seems to have a similar shape. So that it's here, maybe it's pulling up here and creating some sort of imprint also. Partially, which may be correlated to the fact that it's causing energy to flow this way, and if it's like a lot of stuff's going on over here, then it's just going to be putting pressure this way to effectively maybe create like a channel down here, a general channel this way. Maybe that even is correlated to the end result and position of Gurnar. So it carves that channel there, which is really interesting. It doesn't take that channel. It's like, actually, I'm too attracted to this. And it comes over here and it discharges. Discharges. And nowhere to be seen. So it's probably became significantly more stable. I believe it's the South Atlantic anomaly. This thing, which I believe may be moving over to there. Where the mantle was punctured as a outflow point. Where did I even begin this? I was talking about flux capacitors, and here we are on Gurnar. I mean, it wasn't even that unfitting though, because interesting here. Here's another shallogram looking figure 8 type thing. Big one, little one. That's very common in shallograms. That's fine one. That's fine one. Maybe this one. Little one, big one, and had this one open, even bigger one. So they alternate on getting bigger because it's something. I haven't really thought it through, I guess. I think it's just taking one after time. Ding, 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 ding. It's probably just ding, 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 ding. Good wordage. Like each one of these notches are just like this particle's decaying another notch. Maybe. Not completely sure. I was hopeful. I said ding ding, and then I was like, ooh, it might fit, but now I'm not sure. And it's sad, but maybe you guys can figure it out if I'm still not sure and it seems plausible and you think about it and it becomes so, even though it's probably not. This is crazy. Wow. How gorgeous, probably. That's where that is. The trident there. Trident there, so there's probably a channel coming in this way, feeding maybe this system. Although there shouldn't, if there's a channel coming in this way, I don't know. Yeah, that channel coming in this way could easily be related. Oh my god. I just see things sometimes, you know. It happens. So it's coming down here, though. Let's look at this. I guess it's carving this channel at any point. Maybe while it's up here, it's carving this way. It may be carving this way. And then also this way. This way. Something. It definitely comes this way and carves up there and discharges into this region. Maybe this even somehow. Like, it just needs a mass to sink into. But initially I was talking about Australia and the flux capacitor, but it's been long enough. This seems good. This was really, really nice to see this shallogram here. Just really go through the trail of the storm a bit and be like, okay, it does actually look like it could have done that. Like, even this too. I was saying it came through this way, but I guess it could have also came through this way. And then like the notches, so it does this notch, and then this notch, and then this notch, and then this notch, and it creates these notches. Maybe one there. As the current first goes this way, and then it comes more this way and goes around until it just catches, like here, it catches. And then this way, maybe that one. I'm not sure how this one, maybe this one's probably just that, this curve here. Just any curve it can take, it's just following the straight line off of it afterwards. Down here, I guess, I don't know, swirl in there, that looks like an eddy. Like, it looks like it had to go around this and then kind of eddy there. Maybe this one too. Look, this looks kind of like an eddy. That was centered there. It even has that, like, kind of S-looking thing that seems to happen a lot. Probably just the bars of the galaxy that existed when the eddy was alive, in a way. Another possible snakehead, I don't know. And then it just gets out there, gets out there, gets out there. Let's see, let's look at this a little bit more then. Does that shallogram thing, or it just kind of creates a boundary, but it breaks through. Probably when this system is like just sending material. It's just, that's probably what all this is actually the mass that was here just kind of scattered everywhere. Just kind of everywhere. So maybe a similar thing happened here, where there was some kind of core that just got shattered everywhere. Which is why there's just small polygons remaining of this larger polygon that maybe was here. Or like here or something. Something. Right there. Then it comes down here, and I guess it's just carving up that way. It's carving out anywhere it can to discharge, but out this way. This fans out. So it certainly was discharging a lot this way. Because this would have just flowed with the current basically down this coast and down this coast. Down this coast. I think it comes in here also. Might have another inlet here, I'm not sure. This looks like a half of an eagle's face. eyeball, like cheek, beak, nose. How crazy. Okay. So. Ooh, that's interesting. There's a wave going into the continent. Maybe it goes up this way and then this region and also down here. Maybe through here and all the way through even. I'm not sure that the energy necessarily caused every, like, some of this might actually just be water carved. But over here, where it leads to these, like, masses that are... I mean, maybe this is not water carved either. I'm not sure what would have been, like, causing a energetic flow from here into the Himalayas, though. This seems like the Himalayas could have done just fine making this. Maybe that's even representative of it, that it has so many streams that are like could together but separate. Wow, kind of like the Earth. Overlaying one another. How epic, they even represent the Earth. Ugh, dudes. The Himalayas are freaking crystal gemstone, just mountain range of... What can I say? Okay, so this was blowing... Okay. That maybe is really useful information, that this was blowing this way when it comes to Oman. I still haven't looked into Oman, but I'm very curious now that I have a little more of a basis to go from. It may have also blown some... It looks like it went right into Oman, though, pretty much. Like it was adjacent. This point maybe was even right there. I don't know. Not sure how it would have fit together exactly. Pretty sure Madagascar was involved, but I'm not completely sure even, because it seems like it was here. I don't know where I don't feel like looking where it's said to have been. This eagle also has that 4 serpent thing again. I wonder if it has like tails, serpent tails, indicative of... It doesn't seem to in the same way these do. Off of the heads here that are... Because then there's volcanoes here. Maybe that's just an island thing. Or maybe not. I guess it could happen in land with enough energy involved. We got a shallogram here, shallogram here, shallogram here. There must be a mass underground here, like where this energy is going down to, and in so doing creating a current around it. We can even see this. Holy crap, look at that. Not only does it have this figure eight, it has a ring of lakes around it. And it might even have a tail of lakes. Another snakehead. I'm not sure. It seems like they really need the entirety of the body to make sense. Like, what is going on with that? Looks kind of like a freaky clown laughing kind of thing. So cool. This here looks interesting. Whoa. That reminds me of the Tonga video where it formed that type of structure. So it looks like a current came in here, went along the edge of this shallogram feature to here, to the nucleus, where it then continued along the edge of this shallogram feature. Where does it go? It's hard to say. It looks like it goes all the way out here to here to here. Even wherever the water cuts across, pretty much right there. And it doesn't even fully connect, like right around the entirety. Right around it. It goes right around it. Or no, not that. This way. Or this way. Oh. Interesting. This cuts in. Runs into a bunch of those eye looking things. Here's another figure eight looking structure with another lake at the center ish, right above it this time. Maybe because of something. So crazy. Crazy. So these currents flowing this way probably pushed the polygon to have mass kind of shoved in this section, giving it this section. That's probably part of what's going on here. Maybe over here too, just pushed it over the stuff that maybe got into this region. Not sure why. It has that eye type shape here around it. Maybe there's a divide in these currents. This looks kind of like a side vortex might have been happening here. Which maybe sent some, like it caused like the ammonite structure, like this is maybe some ammonite feature, and this is like its nucleus here or something, or this is the nucleus. Like the final chamber, considered the final chamber. I don't know. I'm not sure this definitely has ammonite features, but it looks like it has at least like a generally circular going on here. Which also has this pile here, so it would be suggestive that this pile is caused by this circle kind of shoving stuff over, at least in part. And there is a boundary here and even here. So there's probably this spiral out to here. Maybe the ammonite is out to here. Like this region. It has a current coming through this way. So it's not just discharging into Mount Grenard, it's also discharging this way, maybe. Cutting across this ammonite type thing that maybe is having like a current come across but hit resistance, so it deflects in some way, somehow, or through here. And then right here, it's spiraled out to here. Like the masses were causing a vortex here, and then it just spiraled the mass around here. Bloop. Which is kind of that's just what it did in Australia. So maybe where the mass was centrally located here in this thing, and it just spiraled it around. So it left like a signature of a spiraling, like structuring, and then it left the pile. So maybe this is like it's spiraling, structuring, and then leaving the pile. As the currents here that were colliding this way swung around, it must have brought it like in this direction and then just swirled until it crossed over here past the current and created like a wall of some sort. Just like participated in the creation of that. Which is why these probably have spirally things, and these have more like this kind of thing. So if that's happening there, we can probably look around and say there's probably a lot of piles like that. I know India looks like that a lot. Like here, these are probably piles from currents like this, current flow, pushing piles along the edges of polygons. Like maybe this is a polygon and it's just pushing current flow, so it just causes the polygons like material to compress and fold and create these features. And here doing the same, just this current going into them, folding the polygons materials. Okay, dudes, I think that was a pretty substantial breakthrough video, if I do say so myself. I know I maybe am a little unreasonable. Oh dear, I just heard like an emergency broadcast sound in my head. Made up, kind of, but kind of not, maybe, I don't know. Like, what's going on, I guess. It was a major breakthrough, who knows? What could be going on simultaneous? Lordy lord. Crazy, though. Wow. The wow signal. What do I call this? I guess you guys will know before you realize I was thinking about it at the end here, so See you later.